Welcome to Together at GRCC. Joining us today is a seasoned higher education professional who has dedicated her career to guiding students through their academic journeys. With extensive experience in recruitment and orientation, this leader offers a wealth of insight into helping others thrive. Currently serving as the Grand Rapids Promise Zone Director, she has made a lasting impact on students' lives through strategic planning, event management, and innovative enrollment initiatives. Please welcome Ashlee Mishler. Hi, Ashlee. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. So how's your pickleball game?
Not nearly as good as yours. Or really Whitney's, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so for the audience, Whitney, after our podcast, we kind of collectively got together and started a little pickleball tournament during the lunch hour, which has been really fun.
It has been.
So, yeah. So first, just to get into it, can you start by telling us a little bit about your role as the Promise Zone Director at GRCC and what initially drew you to that position?
Yeah, so actually this is my third time working at GRCC. I started all the way back in 2009 and have been back and forth ever since. So what initially drew me to the position is I really love working for GRCC and working with students, particularly community. So that's kind of what drew me back to GRCC and the role. I thought the role sounded really exciting, something a little bit different, but ultimately serving students in the community. I began this position back in 2021, and really I just oversee the overall scholarship program, the team, and then I get to work with community stakeholders and helping make sure that we're serving the people that we intend to.
Right. For those who might not be familiar, can you explain what the Promise Zone program is and the objectives that you try to aim for?
Yeah. So the program goal is to really remove financial barriers to higher education for all Grand Rapids students. So it allows students who live within the city of Grand Rapids as well as attend high school within the city of Grand Rapids. And then we also have been able to expand a little bit and provide some additional supports to those students. So not just the financial, here's free money to go to school, but we've been able to expand and provide those additional supports both in the high school with our 7 coordinators. And then due to some new legislation that passed this summer, we are working on providing some additional staff to support students that are here at GRCC and provide support in their college journey here.
So those coordinators, are they housed here on campus or are they housed at the actual high school, or is it a combination of the two?
Yeah, it's a combination of the two. So each of our 7 coordinators serves usually about 3 to 4 high schools. So they do spend significant time in the schools that they are working with, but then they do also come back and have tasks that they need to do on campus as well.
Okay, great. How does the Promise Zone initiative specifically benefit GRCC students? And what would have been some of the most significant success stories you've seen so far?
Yeah, so I think one of the most significant things is that the Promise Zone allows GRCC students to go to school here for free. I know that's kind of changed and shifted a little bit, specifically with the Community College Guarantee, but the Community College Guarantee does limit which students can have access to those funds. So the Promise Zone does also allow part-time students to go for free, as well as students who may not be eligible to fill out a FAFSA. So those are some impacted groups that the CCG does not cover. But then in addition to that, with that new legislation, like I mentioned, that passed this summer, we were able to provide an additional $500 to eligible students for them to use on campus. So whether that's food or parking or, hey, I lost my Raider card, we're able to kind of support students in that way. And we've heard some really great feedback from students on how that's allowed them to stay on campus longer and not worry about some of those additional finances that we know students incur.
Yeah. That's interesting because I think when you think about the cost of college, people's brains automatically go to tuition.
Right.
But there's so many other factors and cost in college.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The Promise Zone likely involves multiple partnerships, schools, local organizations, businesses. How do you maintain and strengthen those relationships just to ensure that the program's sustainable?
Yeah, so there are so many different community organizations that are supporting post-secondary access in our community, which I think is wonderful. There's also a lot of organizations out there that are kind of tangentially supporting that, whether it's for supporting students who may be in transitional housing or may need some food assistance. So we're constantly trying to partner with various organizations just to provide resources to students. We try and be that connector and that bridge to, if a student has a need, we hopefully know of a resource that we can connect them with. But we also try and partner with those that are, directly supporting students in that post-secondary access to hopefully, help eliminate duplicative services, but also to partner and collaborate to provide the best support to our students. So, for example, we are consistently collaborating with the Kent Intermediate School District's college and career readiness programs to support students in the schools that we both serve. We partner with the Boys and Girls Club as well as the Hispanic Center to provide services to groups of students that they serve. So we're trying to constantly collaborate and just be kind of everywhere to help support students the best that we can.
Yeah. I'm sure most people know about the Promise Zone that you're communicating with, but what are some strategies that you employ to make sure that you are reaching students and families who might not be aware of the Promise Zone?
Yeah, so I think one of the biggest things that we know is, students and families are going to go back to organizations that they trust. So we try and work with people and organizations that they already trust to get the word out to maybe families that don't know or maybe are hesitant. One of our biggest advocates are the counselors that are in the high school. Students have been working with these people throughout their high school, maybe even their middle school career. So we try and really partner with them and rely and lean on them to help get the word out to students. Some of those community organizations that I mentioned earlier are really important to helping disseminate information for us. And our marketing firm is actually starting to work a little bit more closely with GRPS's communication department to get the word out on not only the Promise Zone as a whole, but all of our FAFSA nights that we have coming up. So things like that. So we're just trying to constantly collaborate and lean in on other people that already have some of those relationships built. But also all of our coordinators in the high school have been really great at, trying to disseminate information as well.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So talking about the coordinators, could you talk a little bit about the structure of your department?
Yes.
In terms of who works for you and
yeah. So back in 2021, when I first started, it was just a team of one of myself. But over the past few years, we've definitely grown. Currently, I have an associate director, Andy Masters. We recently hired another associate director, Morgan Hanna. So she was actually a coordinator, and now she's another associate director. Andy really is focused on our processes as well as actually doing the scholarship awarding. So very financial aid heavy.
And that's the world he comes from.
Exactly.
So,
we were very lucky to get him. So yes, so he is very much focused on that. Morgan's new responsibilities will be overseeing a lot of our working with our current students. And then she will have 2 people on her sub-team that are going to be really focusing and working one-on-one with our current students. And then we have currently 7 coordinators that work in our high schools. And like I said, they're kind of divided up among all of our Promise Zone high schools. So we went from a team of 1 in 2021 to we're about to have a team of 12. So
wow.
Yeah, very exciting.
That's great growth.
Yes, it is.
Amazing. And the amount of support that you can offer is exponential that way, too.
Absolutely, yeah.
What have been some of the biggest hurdles you've encountered, whether financial, administrative, community-based, and how have you worked to overcome them?
Yeah, I think in a community, like I mentioned, building relationships is just so important. And you can't just walk into a place and expect to have people trust you and already have that relationship built. So I think becoming a trusted partner to both schools as well as our other community partners has been a big hurdle and a challenge, but it's something that just showing up consistently and really showing that you have the best interest of students and you're there, it is just invaluable.
Yeah.
And then just also showing and sharing that we are knowledgeable and we have expertise in this area of helping students through that post-secondary process. So yeah, it's just been that consistency and our knowledge has really helped us to establish some really good relationships.
Yeah, and just showing up sometimes and being a part of the community is communication itself. It's showing yes, we're here and we're there to support you.
Absolutely.
And all of your... I think a lot of people they can look past that part and not see it as that, but it definitely is very important to getting trust.
Yes, it's been really crucial.
Yeah. Looking ahead, how do you envision the Promise Zone expanding or evolving? And are there any new programs or initiatives in the pipeline that could broaden that impact?
Yeah, I think we, have been consistently expanding for sure and evolving. But yeah, we definitely have some exciting things coming up. Like I said, we are currently, in the process of finalizing some hiring decisions for our current student support that we're going to offer. So that's really new and exciting. Based on legislation, it was not part of the original Promise Zone. So yeah, now that has gone through, we're excited to be able to more directly support our current students more than just providing them the scholarship. So that's really exciting. And then another thing that we are excited about is providing a tutoring center in one of our Promise Zone high schools. So we're starting that in Innovation Central High School, and we are currently hiring for that position as well. But hopefully sometime early in the new year, we're going to be launching a tutoring center for Innovation Central students and really just assisting them with making sure that they are ready academically for post-secondary education.
How did that come about?
So there was a ad hoc committee that was set up by our Promise Zone board that kind of came up with a lot of different strategies on how to best support our students. So that was one of the strategies that came out of that. And then some additional conversation and collaboration with GRPS, looking at data and seeing how we can best impact and most impact students. That was kind of one of the things that kind of came out of that conversation. So we're excited about it and excited to see how it goes.
Yeah, that's an expansion I never even would have imagined.
Yeah, it's definitely a little outside the box, which I think is great, but we want to make sure that the students are academically prepared, and based on data, this is where, one of the initiatives that we could support. So
great. As the Promise Zone matures, how are you fine-tuning your approach, whether it's adjusting eligibility criteria, adding support services like tutoring, or improving communication to better serve the students?
Yeah, so we're constantly trying to listen to the needs of our students. Everything can't happen all at once, but we really do try and listen to the needs and then adjust accordingly. So I think one of the biggest things that we were able to do is originally when the Promise Zone was created, students had 60 attempted credit hours at GRCC for their scholarship. We have now upped that actually to 72 credit hours to allow students, maybe they need to take some of those ESL courses, or maybe they needed some, additional support in math or English, or maybe they just changed their major. Maybe their program is more than 60 credit hours. So we started to hear that students just needed more than 60 credit hours. So we took that to our board, and now students are eligible for up to 72 credit hours. So, we're definitely adjusting and learning and just trying to meet the needs of the students the best that we can. And those support services, I think, are another great example of how we're trying to evolve.
Does the Promise Zone cover the variable tuition? Like, so for the culinary arts program or the nursing program, would it cover the full tuition for those programs?
It would. So yeah, since we're based on just the number of attempted credit hours, there's no tuition cap necessarily. We do, if a student all of a sudden moves after they graduate high school to Ottawa County or out of state even, we would still cover that tuition. If someone is in one of those differential tuition programs, such as culinary or nursing, we will also cover that as well.
Oh, that's an incredible, opportunity for people.
It's really great.
Yeah. It has to be great to work in that environment too, and just see the.
It sure is.
Yeah.
It sure is. You're always usually giving good news.
Yeah.
So.
When you think about your own legacy in this role, what do you hope future generations of students and community members will say about the Promise Zone and your contribution to the success of it?
I just hope that people can say that either I or the Promise Zone in general have helped them take the next step to reach their goals. I think that's, what we're all here for, is to help students, and to say that, you've been able to impact a student, really exciting. But then even on a broader scale, that this large community program has had some sort of impact on the community would be really great.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming in. We appreciate having you on Together at GRCC, and you're doing incredible work, and it's amazing to see the impact that you're having on the community and all the people that will be able to flourish because of it. Yeah.
Thank you, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, take care.
You too.
Together, we got this.